Hello everybody, Maven here, and with the big update finally live, it's time we test out some of the changes to the exotic weapons, in particular being the Manticore and the Ex Diris, because they got drastic changes, and we will be doing a before and after comparison. So for the Manticore, let me read off these patch notes for you. There's quite a bit of them. So players must now be airborne for half a second and deal damage with the weapon to activate the perk. That's very good because sometimes you would like run off a ledge or do like a short hop, and if you shot an enemy on accident, you would get suspended and stuck there. So now you actually have to work for it. So it's not going to be as finicky. And it has a special reload animation now to quickly disengage the anti-gravity thrusters. It says that the Tarrabah also got this special reload animation. Don't know what the heck that's going to do for the Tarrabah, because Tarrabah, you don't linger in the air like the Manticore, but whatever, we'll see what that does. And then while the anti-grav thrusters are engaged, combatants will be less accurate, similar to the always on-time Sparrow, so that's pretty cool. And with the Catalyst final blows and sustained damage with the Manticore while airborne, grant a void overshield and return ammo to the magazine. I don't know if it's going to be similar to Deconstruct or if it's going to be better or worse, but that addition of the void overshield is going to be nice as well, because the Catalyst as it is already makes you tankier while airborne. So I want to see this thing be crazy, so I'm excited to try it out. And then for the Ex Diris, got some more patch notes to read off here. Increase the impact damage against PvE enemies by 50%. Detonation damage is unaffected, so the total damage turns out to be around 20% overall. And increase the total rate of fire by 17%. Quite the hefty buffs, but personally I don't think it's going to be meta for one crucial reason that we'll talk about later. So let's get to it. Like I said, we're going to do a before and after comparison. So as always, your interaction means everything to the success of this video, so if you got a second to drop a like and a comment, it really means a lot, and I hope you enjoy. Alright, starting off here with the Manticore. As you can see, it got a brand new perk called Flying Spaghetti Monster. I'm going to be honest, this gun has always been one of the worst 3 exotics in the game in my opinion, so hopefully it's better now. So there's a lot to this gun. I'm going to start reading stuff off here. Swooping Talons, dealing damage while airborne, increases his weapon's damage output up to a maximum of 40% bonus damage. And now we have this little reload thing. I'll edit in a little clip here of what that looks like. You can hold reload while you have anti-grav to drop back down to the ground. It's pretty convenient. And now for the brand new Catalyst. While you're airborne, the gun basically gains like enhanced subsistence and deconstruct. Dealing damage reloads ammo back in the magazine. Final blows grant you 12 bullets back in the magazine. And you get a void overshield that gradually increases. I heard that it's only a 15 HP overshield. It's not that good, but still it's a little bit of survivability on top of the fact that enemies are going to be having a harder time hitting you because you have that always on time perk. So we're going to do a side-by-side comparison against Carl here, old versus new. And the new version, you can see, reloads a lot less than the old version. It has like basically double or even triple the mag size than before, but still the results were pretty similar, a lot closer than I would have liked. I was really hoping that the new version would be way ahead. And by the way, in this clip, we're also using the Gear Falcon's hauberk to get those volatile rounds, because I think that is the only thing that would make me want to use the Manticore. I do not think I would use it without the Gear Falcons, so we're using that in this clip. But I thought I would do another comparison here against the Buzzard to see how it fares against a legendary primary weapon, because it's an exotic with its perk entirely activated, so it should completely blow the legendary primary out of the water. But nope, the Buzzard absolutely destroys it. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of this thing. If it can't beat a legendary primary as an exotic with its perk entirely enabled, then I don't know how I feel about it. But the gun is somewhat fun to use, you know, like it's nice that it has that mega subsistence and deconstruct, so you just keep on firing forever and don't really have to reload so long as you're running around staying in the air until you have to drop back down and charge that anti-grav repulsor again. So one big thing that I really do not like about this gun is that you cannot charge that anti-grav repulsor while in the air. I've had some instances where getting kills while airborne did feed a little bit of energy back into that anti-grav repulsor, but it only happens rarely. If that happened consistently, so I can just slay out airborne and stay airborne forever, then this gun might be a little bit more worth it. But the fact that every few seconds I have to drop back down and charge the perk again, that completely kills the gun. That is trash. The whole point of this gun is to be in the air, so Bungie, let us be in the air. Let the gun do what it wants to do. Not have us drop back down every few seconds, get 4 kills, charge that perk back up, and then go back in the air for a few seconds. That's not what I want to do with this gun. So yeah, I'm still not a fan of it, but another thing I found out about this gun is that you don't actually have to have the perk charged to be able to get the benefits of airborne, like dealing increased damage and subsistence and deconstruct while in the air. You don't have to have charge so long as you jump in the air. So I figured I would try this on Warlock with Heat Rises, but as it turns out, Heat Rises is extremely buggy with the anti-grav repulsors, and it just basically disables your jump and you can't stay airborne. So it's terrible with that. So if they can fix that interaction, it may have some niche usage on that sort of class, but that does not work either, and I doubt it even work with the Lion Rampants because it disables your jump, so this thing's just trash. Now before we move on to the Ex Diris, remember Tarrabah also got that special reload animation, so now when you activate Ravenous Beast, instead of actually doing a reload animation, you just do that little thing where you just like change its mode, so it definitely saves a lot of time and feels a lot better. So now moving on to the Ex Diris, there's really nothing to really go over here. The gun just got a damage buff as you saw in the patch notes in the intro, so let's try it out. So we're going to do a side-by-side comparison against Pharizia, and normally when I show Pharizia clips on YouTube, I show the clip separately, then compare the damage numbers after, but I just wanted to put them side by side here so you can see and hear the rate of fire differences. So let's go. Post buff, you can see that the new version does a lot more damage in a quicker amount of time. It's a significant increase, but does that make the gun good? Not exactly. So while I am somewhat impressed with this thing's DPS output, it's like if I'm gonna use a DPS thing at close range, it's gonna be a shotgun. And if it's out of shotgun range, I'll probably use a slug shotgun. If it's out of slug range, I'll probably use a sniper, you know? So it's hard to find a place where the Ex Diris really fits in. And not to mention, this gun is still extremely hard to use. You basically have to be airborne with it, because if you're not, the thing whiffs like crazy, because its hit detection isn't great, its splash damage isn't that great, its velocity sucks. It's just not a good feeling weapon to use. So what I think Bungie should do is massively increase this thing's velocity, because it sucks, and then also increase the blast radius, and also give it no self-damage. The self-damage sucks because since it's hard to use, you want to be up close to try to use it, and then you die because of the splash damage on yourself. So make it do no self-damage, please. It doesn't seem like the type of weapon that would do that, but it does. But that's not actually the thing I hate most about this gun. What I hate most about this gun is when you get a kill with it, you make a moth, right? The moth goes and seeks out a target and blows up. But you can only have one moth spawned at any given time. You have to wait for that moth to be gone, which is very slow, to be able to make another moth on a final blow. I don't like that because I want to see a lot of moths being spawned. If I throw an Ex Diris shot at a group of ads and kill like 4 ads, I want to see 4 moths come out, fly over to that major I'm trying to DPS, and do a bunch of burst damage, just chunk that health bar. That's what I want to see. That's a power fantasy. So that's going to do it for this one, and I want to thank Bungie for, you know, trying to tune these exotic weapons so that maybe we can enjoy them. But sometimes the buffs aren't good, but, you know, A for effort. You know, but like I think that they should probably take some community feedback, you know, like maybe make a Reddit post so that the community can like post their ideas on how they would buff these exotics that clearly need a buff, and the devs can go through and actually take some ideas from the community to make the best buff they can rather than just going off the top of their head. So anyways, that does it for the 7.3.5 exotic weapon updates. There were some updates for Crucible, and you know, Galley, Deathbringer, and Truth got some reserve buffs, but you know, there's not really much to test there. Those are just reserve buffs, you know. So we did what we can with the exotics that actually got changes. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it's helped you out in some kind of way. If it did, be sure to drop a like and a comment. Remember, your interaction means everything to the success of this video, so I greatly appreciate it. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing. Would love to have you here. And with that, I'll catch you in the next video. See you later.